And we are live. How to dunk training, everybody. Podcast number 3. So I've been filming a lot of these lately. I've been having a lot of fun doing them. So just trying to get as much content out as possible and give you guys some informative tips on, I guess, fitness, training, increasing your vertical, and also just general aspects of life. You know, I'm a young male. I'm 23 years old. Obviously, there's a lot of you out there that are my age or younger following my page and even older. And as a young man, we go through different struggles and, I guess, situations. So a big part of, I guess, being a young man, a young heterosexual man, is, I guess, attracting women and, you know, eventually, well, I want to find the one day when the time is right. Taking a bit longer for me, but, you know, everyone's got their time. It arrives when you least expect it, and hopefully when you see the right one come along, you embrace it, and hopefully you get embraced back too. Getting embraced back is very important, you know. In any relationship, mutual respect is key, whether it's like a co-worker or just a friend. If there's no mutual respect set in place, your relationship's going to fall apart. You guys must respect each other. That's first and foremost. This car just stopped right in front of me. I don't know what he's doing. Just let him pass. Yeah, so, especially these days, there's a lot of apps out there. There's Tinder, Bumble. I'm on both of them. Use it here and there when I'm bored. Have a swipe, why not? Kill some time. So, you know, let's put it into some context. You know, you're on the app, see some attractive chick. This is in the context of, let's say you're on the app. Obviously, you can meet people in person too. There's a whole variety of places where you can meet girls. It's not just, obviously, online, but it's one example. You swipe on a good-looking girl. Ooh, she pretty. She look good. Her bio's alright. It's got a little bit of a kick to it, not your average bio. Alright, you swipe on her, you super like her, you do what you do. Maybe a day later, her name pops up and it says, oh, you have matched with blah, blah, blah. And you click on her, you're like, keen, oh, yeah, I matched with that one that I swiped on yesterday or super liked. Damn, let's see where it goes. So you message her, you write some, I don't know, I usually write pretty generic things. I'm just like, oh, hey, how's your day been so far? What'd you get up to? Just a casual opener. And I think from that moment, you can sort of tell where the initial attraction is going, or if it exists. So, well, number one, to have matched with you, she might have swiped on you, unless it's one of those rare possibilities when they just accidentally spam the app or swipe on anyone. But, you know, she's most likely swiped on you, so that's the good thing about these apps. You know that the initial attraction is kind of there. It makes things a lot easier. So, you know, you write your opener, maybe she replies like 15 minutes later or something, generally. And she might give you a smile or something and say, yeah, good, it's been alright, blah, blah, I did this and that. She tells you what she did, and she's like, how about you? So that's very important. Just that opener in itself, it doesn't mean much, but it kind of hints to you whether she's somewhat interested or look, she might not reply at all. You know, first of all, she might not open the app, or she might see it, she might just not be feeling it, she might, whatever. So the fact that you got a reply is good, but if you just get some bland reply, most likely she's bored, she's come back from work, she's got nothing better to do. If she says like, not much, how about you? It's not the worst reply, but it's pretty bland. So let's just put this into context that you get that good reply, blah, blah, you know, you guys are feeling it, you're talking, you're writing non-stop, text. All that good stuff, you know, all that productive, flirtatious means of speech. Yeah, so what I was saying is, continues on, might go for that night, maybe she says good night or whatever. Sometimes you're like, oh, you know, maybe we're never going to talk again, maybe we will. Okay, let's say in this case your conversation continues the next day. That's already, see, number 2, big important sign. If the conversation stays, good sign. Or, even better for you, you might have got her social media that night. You might have added her on Snapchat. You might have got her Facebook account. You might have even got her mum's number. Nah, jokes. But yeah, let's say it continues. Let's say you got her social media, or even if you're still on Tinder, you're talking, the conversation's fruitful, blah blah blah. Generally, this goes for like 3 days or something. And if it progresses even more, you might get her number, you might have a phone call. I don't know, this is just from my experience, this is usually what I do. Everyone does it different, of course, but this is usually how the whole online scene works. You know, you got a Facebook, you might like her profile pic, she likes yours back. Yeah, you're good. You think you're in. Are you really in, but? Good question. So yeah, you keep talking, and then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I think it's time to ask to hang out. And you're damn right, because this talking shit, I would really, like, it's good and stuff. It's good to get to know them and stuff. And you want to do all those background checks. You want to make sure it's a real fucking person to start off with. It could just be, I don't know, just could be some pedophile. You don't know. This shit happens all the time. So, yeah, you find out she's a real person. I think with that, it's good to see a few social media accounts. If you just get her Snap and you get some really generic, strange photos, it's good to, you know, obviously you're going to be a bit suspicious, but once you get the Instagram, you see a lot of photos, see the Facebook, you see photos with her family, then you're good, you know, you can cool down a bit. You can say, oh, you know, there's at least a 10% less chance that she's not a robot. No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah. So alright, eventually you get to it. Maybe it's during the phone call, or maybe she initiates it first. Maybe she's like, oh, when am I going to see you? Great sign. If that happens, you're off to a great start. You know, you're Usain Bolt and you're just smacking everyone in that race, and maybe they'll catch up. I don't know. But, yeah, that's a good sign. Or, look, usually, I'm going to say this, girls usually do not make the first move. So, most likely, it's going to have to be you that puts in the work. So, you say, you know, you just ask her out on a date or a hangout or whatever. You just say, hey, are you keen to catch up sometime this week or next week or blah, blah. And this is where we stop and analyze the situation and wait on her reply. If she, let's say, okay, like I said, if she asked you first, that's already good. That's a great sign. But let's say you had to make the move, all right? That's fine. You know, as men, we're more inclined to make moves. But be careful. That can lead you down a little bit of trouble, because when you keep thinking like, anyways, I'll talk about that later. I'll get to that soon. Where was I? Yeah. So that's it. You stop and think for a little bit. You're waiting for her reply. Obviously, if she just ignores you, then forget it. If she replies and says, usually she's going to say, like, let's say you asked her tomorrow or today or something, she's going to be like, oh, I'm doing this, blah, 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 but I'm free Friday, we can do something. That's usually the reply you're going to get, because they don't want to seem too needy or too available. They're going to say, oh, yeah, I'm keen to see you tonight and stuff. So it's actually a good sign if they say like, oh, I'm busy today or tomorrow, but we can do it on this day. So, yeah. So if they say that, that's good. You know, you've got your hangout sorted. You organize on times. You talk a bit about like what you're going to do and stuff, etc., etc. If she says something like, oh, you know, I'm really busy right now, there's a lot going on, you know, I'll let you know or something. If you get that, my friend, just delete that girl and swipe on the next one, because that is a load of shit. No one is that fucking, unless she's like overseas or someone, but like no one is that busy to the point where she can't at least fit in 2 hours, or like not even like 1 hour to grab coffee with you. Like, no one is that busy. I'm not that busy. I've got a lot of shit going on, but even I'm not that busy. So if I'm not that busy, why should you be that busy? I understand people have commitments, but you know, if they don't at least say like, oh, you know, I'm busy right now, I've got this assignment, can we organize it in 2 weeks? Like, that's like already really pushing it. But, you know, if you get anything other than that, yeah, just at that point, delete. Don't even bother waiting for it and say, oh, I'm going to keep it on the side. There's no point. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. What you need to realize is, yeah, you're going to be like, you're going to make all these bullshit reasons and justify it to yourself. Oh, I'll wait up for her, whatever. I'll keep swiping on other ones in the meantime. No, you're still going to have it in the back of your mind. And that's going to, as your brain thinks and processes information, that's going to consume energy. And we don't need to consume energy on irrelevant things, because once she said that, I think they said a girl makes her mind up in like 5 seconds. Once she says that, that's it, like game over, just whatever. All right, so that's out of the way. As you can see, all this is forming into a great flowchart. It's like a whole like yes or no situation. That's the great part of it. But yeah, so let's say she says yes. She organizes on the time. Whatever, you guys talk a bit for those few days. You're curious, you're energetic to meet her. You might have a few more phone calls, whatever. Okay, meeting time. You get to that day. You meet her up. I don't know, what's something I do? I just usually like go to the beach or something. Like usually I'll pick up the girl and we'll just go to the beach and just like sit on the sand and like dip our feet and just talk about things. I don't know, might be lame to you. I fucking enjoy it. Or there's that, because I like to do things a little bit out of the box. I really like try to get to know people. I feel like first impressions are really important. But there's nothing wrong with like doing something cute, going to get like gelato or going to, I wouldn't recommend the movies, because what are you doing? You get in there, you sit down, you watch the movie, you can't even hear each other, you can't communicate. And it's a little bit cringe, it's a little bit awkward. You know nothing about this person and you're just like sitting next to him and you can't even hear him. Anyways, back to what I was saying. What was I saying? The movies? Yeah, don't go to the movies. Just do something else. Go to a cafe, go to a restaurant, do something nice. Don't do something too overboard. Don't try to act like someone you're not. You gotta be yourself. You gotta be confident. You gotta be yourself. Do something that's within your, comfort zone, because you're already in this, not a vulnerable position, but you're gonna be a bit nervous, and that's fine. I get nervous when I meet girls, and not just that, like do other things in life that obviously you got expectations on. So do something within your range. If you like to play sport, if she's into soccer and you like it too, go kick a soccer ball around or something in the park. Like, don't feel like, this is important, don't feel like you're pressured to do something just because general society is doing it, or because you read it on, what's that website, WikiHow or something, WikiHow, where to take a girl. Like, look, it's fine to read up on those things, I do it too, but don't take everything literally. Invent your own thing. First of all, she's gonna like if you're creative and confident about your idea and very spontaneous. That shows a lot about your nature already, just that alone. So definitely do that. Do something within your range. Do something you enjoy. Do something you think she will enjoy. Hopefully you got to know her a bit over that last week. And yeah, alright, you meet up for the date. Yeah, it's going good. You guys are smiling, you guys are talking, getting to know her more. She's telling you about her day. She's telling you about like her family or her work. Just, that's fine. That's just a natural, healthy conversation. Blah, 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 blah. And if it's one of those dates when she has like not too much time, that's okay. But as long as she told you beforehand, said like, oh, like I'm really busy, but I can hang out for 2 hours. I wouldn't overthink that too much. That's fine. But let's say you're on a date and then out of nowhere, this chick just wants to go home. Red flag. Delete. Yeah. So hopefully it doesn't get to that. Hopefully she's enjoying. Eye contact is very important. Hopefully she's looking at you and giving you eye contact back, smiling. You're gonna feel like she's interacting with you. She's a human being at the end of the day, and as humans we need to interact. So hopefully she interacts with you. And yeah, you guys are talking, you're getting to know her more, she's getting to know you more, you're smiling. If it gets really good, you might put your arm around her, she might come in close, you guys might be a bit touchy. All very good signs, but not 100% necessary for the first date. Not 100% necessary. If it happens, good, but don't make it an expectation. Don't say, oh shit, because this didn't happen, that's it, I'm doomed, she doesn't like me. No, some girls are naturally more frigid, more shy. And look, if you're let's say you're not making moves, do not expect her to make any moves from a physical, touchy basis. Like, don't expect it. If she does, I don't know, that might not even be a good thing after all. Might show a little bit about her as a person. But maybe not. Maybe it might be a good thing. I don't know. It works both ways, honestly. So, yeah. Hopefully, that if that first date goes well, you guys interact, you talk, and then you go home. Now, when you go home, it's important. Usually, she's going to expect you to message her first. Just say something like, yeah, thanks, I had a really nice time tonight. Thanks for coming out, really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun. Just say something like that. And then, yeah, obviously, like I said, she's going to expect you to message first. So, yeah, if she replies, and now this is also important. If she gives you some bland-ass reply, hold on, these cars are turning in. Once again, my podcast is put on hold. I can't multitask. I'm really bad at it. Okay. So, where am I? Okay. So, let's say, okay, if she gives you one of those really bland replies like, yeah, it was fun, have a good night. Something like that. Like, that's just really, that's really fucking bland. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't know. Like, I like people to be, at least express, like, how it was. If she says something like, oh, she'd be like, oh my God, yes, I had so much fun, like, can't wait to do it again. You're in, like, you're good. You've made a good first impression. Doesn't guarantee anything, but you've made a good first impression. You've done well. Give yourself a pat on the back. And feel like you've satisfied your requirements for that day, you know, as a man taking a girl out on a date. I'm just gonna stop, get some food for a bit, so I'll continue this later. So I'll check back in with you guys soon, hopefully. Hey guys, just back on the podcast. So yeah, back to what I was saying before about, you know, how to approach a girl and how to take her out and advice on that area of life. Well, yeah, so what I was last saying is that first date is important in terms of her reception back to you, because things could go great before that date, whatever, like however you're talking on social media and all these technological platforms, but at the same time you haven't had a face-to-face interaction with this person, so that in itself is a big next step to do. So once you've had that interaction, you can see also that, oh, like, no, maybe this chick didn't turn out to be what I thought she was, and she might think the same back. Maybe you didn't turn out to be the guy that you thought like she was. And funny enough, you'd think so, like, oh, what's different? And I don't know, but, you know, when you meet someone face to face, maybe they look a little bit different in their photos. I don't know, there's always little things that you might pick on. Maybe they have these bad habits that you don't like. I don't know, maybe they dressed funny. I don't know, it's honestly very subconscious. You can't really get a full grip on these things. But, yeah, so, you know, let's say you got the good response. Things are alright, she's happy. You're still not there yet. Okay? So, after that, you just want to keep consistency. You definitely do not want to be pestering her and that's it, like, put in your mind that she's your girlfriend now. No, don't do that. Like, you know, yeah, sure, be in charge, be the man, initiate plans, continue with that mindset that you first started out with. But, give her space too. You don't have to reply all the time, instantaneously. You don't always have to make sure she says good night or good morning. You don't always have to talk non-stop to her. You can take little breaks. You can, you know, have your own time and have your own space. And that's a different topic, but also an important one. You need to have your own. These windscreen wipers are really fucking annoying. You gotta have your own space. You gotta have your own life away from her too. And once you establish that, you'll see that your relationships will actually become better. Your confidence of pursuing a woman will improve as well. So, okay, back to what I was saying. That's a little side note just to take down. Back to what I was saying about hold on. Yeah, that initial response and where you want to take it after that. So yeah, just like initiate things, give it a few days, maybe make another plan for the next week. Say, yeah, I was really like excited to go check out this or this event or this party, or I want to like, I don't know, take you out bowling or something. Just initiate like plans, something that you know she's going to enjoy, something that you're going to enjoy. And yeah, keep that consistency, and hopefully you start a good pattern, and you exemplify, you let off good energy, and you keep that consistency, and she keeps seeing you, and you guys keep hanging out, and you get to know her more and more and more. And yeah, if it goes at that good steady pace, then I guess eventually you can make that judgment after, give it time, but give it like a month or two or something, and then just ask her to be your girl, I guess, if that's what you want. If you feel like you need a little bit more time, give it a little bit more time, but don't lag on the idea, and don't waste time for like years when you're just in this weird, strange, like that's like that phase. Like, yeah, you have to go through it, that phase of seeing them and stuff, but don't prolong it unnecessarily. When your gut feeling tells you it's right, and if your gut, look, honestly, if after all these hangouts, things were good, and then just out of nowhere you're not fully with it, and you're unsure, your gut's just saying, oh, something's just not right here, I don't know what it is, but I'm not fully with it anymore, I don't know what happened, like it seemed okay and now it's not, then that's alright. Your gut told you so. Be honest with her, tell her that, I appreciate the time we spent and hung out, but maybe this isn't meant to be or something. That's alright. Just be honest and upfront. Being upfront's very important, by the way. You always need to make sure that you tell them your expectations, because that's how you want to be treated back. Everything you do is basically what you want someone to do in return, I guess. It's not always going to happen, but at least, you know what I'm trying to say. So treat others how you want to be treated, quite simply. And so just defogging these windows. Okay, on the other side of the spectrum, you have your first date, maybe you even have a second date, and then she just, I don't know, something just seems off. She's not talking to you as much, she's not replying as often, she's making excuses, she's saying like, oh, sorry, I didn't see your message, oh, I was busy, I was at work, blah, blah, blah. Now, that's when you have to start to understand that what's just happened is you've just spotted a very important red flag. I don't know what it is, I don't know what happened, but, there could be a big variety of reasons when they just like turn cold on you, not communicate with you as much. And honestly, like, if you've just seen the girl twice, like, I guess she doesn't really owe you anything at that point. So maybe another guy came along that she even was more fond of, and like, sorry to say, but like, it happens to all of us. It's happened to me, it's happened to people I know, like, it's just part of life, and you just got to accept it. And remember, it doesn't mean that other guy is better than you. It just means for some reason she just was feeling him more, or liked something more about him that she didn't see in you. It's like, if you guys know the Hodge twins, I was watching one of their videos and they talked exactly about this. They said it's got nothing to do with you. It's just like, some people like the color blue, some people like the color green, some people like yellow. At the end of the day, they're all colors. None of them are like better than each other. None of them are more superior, and none of them are less superior. They're all colors, and they mean nothing. They're very I don't know. They have no value if you think about it. No numerical value or whatsoever. They're just colors, but they're different. And someone had a different preference. Doesn't mean it was better. It was just a different preference. And that's one possibility. Or for some reason, it doesn't always have to be some other guy came along. Maybe she just, I don't know, just something clicked in her head. Just some sort of... Okay, look, there's also... Yeah, like I'm jumping topics, but there's also the case she wasn't fully with it at the start. I'll get to that in a second. Let me just finish what I was saying. maybe something just clicked in her head, she was interested, and then she's like, nah, it's not for me. Just like you have the right to say that too after a few dates. And just accept it. As long as she's honest, take it on your chin. Thank her for the time you had, and just move on, quite frankly. Okay? And yes, so I was recording more before, and it looks like some of the recording didn't get processed. I don't know why, honestly. I'm new to this voice memo application. But yeah, what I wanted to say, what's very important is that you don't start making these several conclusions and different scenarios in your head of what could have happened and what you did wrong. You're going to start unnecessarily blaming yourself, because it's nothing to do with you. You did actually nothing. As long as you did your part, and as long as you didn't feel like you did something wrong where, okay, you were mean to her or something, you said something wrong, that's different. Be accountable for that, learn from it, and don't do it again. But if you just took her out as a genuine guy and you did what you can to pursue her, just give yourself a pat on the shoulder. Just say, it's a learning experience for me, and I'm going to move on, and I'm going to find whoever likes blue, quite frankly. And that's fine. That's what you should do. That's what you should be doing. So yeah, avoid those conclusions, because what I was saying before, what got cut off is, think about how many conclusions that you're actually making. I really hope you're not making 100 conclusions. That's a real waste of time. But, we all make a few. We probably make 20 at most, 20 different scenarios, not even, maybe 10 to 15 to 20 different scenarios of what could have happened, why this chick just blanked out for no reason and just didn't want to see me anymore or talk to me. It's unnecessary. Imagine what great things you could have done with all that analysis. Imagine what parts of your brain you've reached to analyze and come up with those conclusions. You could have solved some of the toughest mathematical and astrophysics equations in the world. You could have done great things. You could have put that energy into one example, just like this. I'm just talking. I'm just creating this podcast just based off experience, Instead of me continuing to think about the girl and all those conclusions and possibilities that could have happened, I let it go. And I just genuinely want to help people get a better grip on it. And that's why I'm putting this podcast out. So that's that. Just, if you've done everything right, just give yourself a pat on the back. Don't say you've done something wrong. Just move on and say, you're going to find who likes blue, and I'm blue. That's it. On the contrary, you want to look out for those signs that she was just never with it from the start, and that's very important to tell. And what I've realized is, just because someone's hanging out with you and giving you somewhat attention, it really doesn't even mean they're interested these days. It's just such a obscure topic where at times it could mean yes and it could mean no. And yeah, it does get confusing, but I have noticed very distinct patterns with these people who aren't fully with it or not interested, or at the end of the day, their aim is to make some sort of gain out of you, get something from you, whether it's your attention, your sympathy, I don't know, maybe they want you to buy them food, pay meals for them, or it could be anything. They could use you for a whole variety of reasons. The individual ones don't matter. At the end of the day, they want some sort of gain out of you. Don't know what it is. Doesn't really matter. But just be careful. So, let's say you're talking to them over social media. At some point, they're always going to reply, but it's very important to watch the dynamics of the conversation. So if they are constantly talking about themselves, not asking you questions, not saying, how's your day? What did you get up to? What did you do? If you see that the subject is always pointed towards themselves, or they're sending you videos of themselves, this is just a form of narcissism. This is a form of self-obsession. They're obsessed with themselves. And the only reason they're obsessed with themselves is because, as a matter of fact, they're actually insecure about themselves. So, they're that insecure to the point where they have to keep
and keep showing you, I don't know, things about themselves, videos, and keep talking about themselves so they can somewhat justify themselves and look credible. But if you're smart enough, you can pinpoint all these signs, and you don't need to prolong it. You can leave instantly. So basically, that's a major one. Look at the conversation. Are they talking about themselves all the time? And the second one I wanted to say is, who's initiating in this case? Sure, it's fine for the male to be doing the initiating for plans and making arrangements for hangouts and dates and all that at the beginning. But at some point, you want her to start saying, like, yeah, we should do this, we should do that, blah, blah, blah. If she's not doing that and she's just going along with your plans, there's a good, I'm not going to say 100%, but there's a good chance she's just tagging along, and that goes back to the point of using you for some sort of personal gain, I've got a lot of examples about this. I don't want to get into that in this video. I will make a separate video to talk about exact experiences I've dealt with and the types of people and what kind of personal gain they wanted to get out of me. They might see it. They might get offended. Personally, I don't give a fuck because they deserve to be exposed. But, yeah, so that's another one. Look at the initiation. Look who's making the plans. If it's all you and then they're just tagging along and giving you just... Something I got was, every time I was making plans with this last person, they would never give a direct, oh yeah, Keen, pick me up at this or that time. It would always be something like, what's that shit that they kept saying? Oh, but that's effort. Oh, like, Siebes, like, what am I going to wear? All this stuff that shows, they're half with it. They're not genuinely there. They're only there because maybe no one else cares about them. Maybe no one else wants to take them out. Maybe they're neglected. Maybe they're bored. Like I said, whole variety of reasons. Not important, don't matter, but be aware of them. And the last one, what was the last one? Give me a sec. Yep, and the last one is also, what platform of interaction are you having? Like I said, none of these things are guaranteed, but chances are, if you're only talking on social media and every time you ask them, oh, you want to talk on the phone, blah, blah, if they always got some bullshit excuse that they're busy, they're afraid, because when you put someone under a phone call, that's your real personality being exposed. You're not hiding behind this wall. Yeah, they can't see you. So, the most ideal, natural way to see someone obviously is in person, but phone call is pretty good too. You get insight into what they're saying, and you can see a lot of different aspects of their personality. But if that person that's like, oh, I don't want to talk on the phone, blah blah blah, they've got something to hide. And not only that, they've got a lot of their own, they've got a lot of insecurity, and yeah, if they're not interacting with you on that personal basis, then yeah, that's another really bad sign. And I guess the last one is just look at their attitude when they're hanging out with you in person. Are they giving eye contact? Do they seem genuine? What are they talking about? What are the topics about? If they're just doing that, if they're just on their phone the whole time, or just showing you videos about themselves and, all this stupidity, chances are they're not paying attention to you. They're just enjoying to be out for whatever reason. I don't know. Like I said, maybe no one else wants to take them out. But it's not a genuine hangout. They're just using you to get out. And they're just going back to their own ways. They're, constantly distracted, not giving you attention, not asking you questions. And yeah, that's another major sign. So be careful with those girls who were never with from the start and want you for some sort of personal gain. I will make a big video about this, and hopefully that will help you more, but I'm just scratching the surface here. So yeah, hopefully today's video helps you guys with approaching girls and looking at key signs of, I guess, it being positive interaction and going somewhere, and also starting to recognize these red flags that may come about, But, like I said, there has to be some sort of balance. You don't want to be overly suspicious and overthink too much, but you want to be fair to yourself, and you want to be able to recognize these red flags to avoid trouble in the future, because quite frankly, you get to an age, life starts to become more serious, you're going to start thinking about where you're going to, what are you going to do for your career? When are you going to get a house? All these factors are going to come into play, and you don't have time for people who want you for inorganic reasons such as personal gain and to fulfill their own narcissism and basically get credibility from you because no one else is giving them credibility. And that's the part where I've had a lot of issue because, like I said, I'm going to make a whole video about this, but I'll just give you a little basic rundown. So these sorts of people, I fit them into a certain category. They are the emotionally unstable, attention-seeking whore. That's what we call them. So basically, those girls, I've come across a few of them now, and the good thing about it is they all act exactly the same. So it's like when you're sorting out, let's say you got M&Ms of different colors. You got different jars, you're going to put the blue into one jar, you're going to put the red into another jar, and so forth and so forth. Their patterns are so obvious that you can categorize them and put them into one jar. So it becomes easy, you see the signs, that's it. Instant delete. That's what I call it, the instant delete button. You got nothing more to say to them, And if they say, "Oh, why did you delete me?" Just say, "You know what? I watched the Elevate podcast, and he told me about the instant." I watched the Elevate podcast. Howtodunk Training told me, or Andre told me about the instant delete button, and I feel like it's applicable here, and I'm going to use it. Just say something like that, Put it on me. You don't need to give them an explanation. They don't always need an explanation. Keep them guessing. Show them that you deleted them. It's going to tell them that there's something in them that you didn't like. And these types of people are constantly looking for justification and credibility and some sort of, I don't know what the word is, but they're just trying to fulfill, they're just trying to validate themselves. They want to look validated in society. They want to look like they have a place, that they're important. So by you just deleting them and just saying something stupid and generic like that, you're going to put them off. They're going to be like, oh, fuck, like, what is it? What did I do? They're going to keep guessing themselves, and let them keep guessing themselves. They don't need an explanation because they're cold, selfish, manipulative, fucked up people. And that goes back to the photo I uploaded a few weeks ago about 8 toxic signs you should look out in people. So they fit every single one of those 8 signs. So, honestly, just leave them. Don't deal with them. Let them figure it out. That's something that I need to learn, and something that a lot of people need to learn. Don't feel sorry for them. Let them figure it out. I'm sure they're fine. It's not as bad as they're making it out to be. So anyways, what I wanted to touch on the surface is a big sign you always at the beginning is as soon as you meet them, they're going to say something to make you feel sorry for them. They're going to give you this background story that you didn't even ask for in their life. They're going to say, "Oh, my boyfriend bashed me. Oh, this person raped me. Oh, I don't know, all sorts of things. I was neglected. My mom left," or the list goes on. Honestly, I can't remember all of them. Oh yeah, and then they start to bring about mental health issues, and it's bullshit. They don't have mental health. They do, but they start using these fancy words, which there are seriously some people that are sick and suffering from these issues. But they start using these words. "Oh, I've got bipolar. I've got depression. I've got blah, 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 blah." And yeah, look, all respect to those people that have that. At times we're all anxious and we all suffer from these things. But these people, like, a lot of them, no one's even diagnosed them. They haven't even seen professionals, or, I don't know what the goal is. I don't know everything about them, but they're going to use these fancy terms just to chuck that little, just so they can get a bit of your sympathy, you know. That's the word I want to say. They want to get the sympathy card from you. And if they see that you're a suitable candidate, for example, me, like I'm just naturally more emotional, I tend to feel sorry for these people easier. You think, oh, you know, I can help them, look how bad their situation is. It's a huge mindfuck. And the only time you're going to learn is if you either take it from someone else like me, or if you don't want to do that, Go throw yourself in the deep end, have a few of these experiences, and then come back to me. And you'll see everything I'm saying is exactly on point. So be very careful of these emotionally unstable attention seeking whores, because they tend to be everywhere. They come when you least expect them, and they know exactly what they're doing. It's like a movie script. They know at the beginning, oh, I'm going to draw him in with my sympathy. I'm going to make him look, I'm going to act like I'm somewhat interested. He's going to buy it, do it for a bit. And then eventually it's going to get to a point, if you are a genuine person and, you know, you're doing things right, it's going to come to the point where their conscience, it's going to fuck them up. They're going to be like, oh shit, like look, he likes me, I'm leading him on. Like they're going to be in this state of their own turmoil when they're going to really look in themselves, and because they're already so insecure, and you know, they're literally like, you know, the top of the isolated really thin sheet, one little thing and it just cracks. So they can't afford anything more to happen to them. So when they know that especially this is the point I wanted to bring up, when they know that they're accountable for someone else's sadness, hurt, or emotions, that fucks them up inside. It really, really, really pesters them. And then when it gets to that point, you know, they start freaking out because, you know, they're not even in control of their own emotions. Imagine them, you know, being accountable for someone else's emotions and knowing someone else got hurt. Fuck, now that really is gonna destroy them. So, see, that's the good part about being genuine, you know, because, you know, at times the reaction they want from you, they want you to get pissed off. They want you to continue that abusive behavior. So then they have a reason to act away. But they're justified to act in this, I guess, malicious way, because, you know, they can say, oh, but you did this, you're hurtful, you're a fake person, blah, blah, look what you did to me, look what you said about me, blah, blah. But, you know, when you're actually genuine and stuff, and then they see that, you know, they're fucking with your emotions, then they're going to implode, and implode. So anyways, I'm going to get into this topic on more details in the next few videos, and I'm going to bring up some examples. I'm not going to say names. I don't need to say names. But, you know, I will talk about the experience in depth, and hopefully I will give you insight into recognizing these red flags and becoming a more, I guess, alpha male who, and when I say alpha male, doesn't mean, oh, this guy that just doesn't give a shit about, like, women and stuff. That's not what I'm saying. It's about giving a shit is fine, but giving it in the right area and giving it to the right girl. That's what's important, you know. Not the wrong one. Not the one that wants to manipulate you and get some sort of personal gain out there from you. So yeah, guys, I really hope this video was a bit lengthy, but, you know, I've got a lot to say on this topic. So hopefully it just helps you with the dating world and approaching women in general, and, you know, recognizing when they're interested, and also when it's time to stop chasing them. Sometimes nothing happens, you know, they could be genuine, but they're just not interested. They don't even have malicious motives. They want nothing. It just didn't work out, and that's fine. And you got to respect them for that. Like I said, at times you could do it too. You could be going on dates, and then everything seems fine, and out of nowhere something just buckles, and, you know, that's all right. So just make sure you know, approach women correctly. You know, at the same time, it's something you gotta learn from experience. It's not gonna just be a linear progression and just always work out. There's times you're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna learn from them. It's a trial and error process, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I hope this helped you with a few of the basic signs to know when a girl is worth pursuing, and also when it's time to stop, and also whether or not they were fully with it at the start. Very important point. Thanks to everyone for tuning into today's podcast. This is podcast 4, number 3, part of a series of the Elevate podcast on SoundCloud. I might be uploading these to YouTube too. We'll see how it goes. But I will put all links in the description on my page. Follow my Instagram page at Howtodunk. And yeah, you'll see everything there, from all the videos I put up to workout tips to all aspects of life, increasing your vertical jump, getting stronger. All those things that make you a better person. So yeah, hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you for the next podcast. Thank you.